You can't blame the money man for bad economic policy, but of course that seems to be what Donald Trump is trying to do with Jerome Powell. Trump attacked the Federal Reserve chair yesterday again for refusing to raise interest rates, claiming to reduce interest rates, claiming that his termination can't come fast enough after Jerome Powell essentially just told the truth about the impact of Donald Trump's tariffs. But Federal Reserve is not the reason for all the recent chaos in the stock market. Today, the Wall Street Journal editorial board put it this way, quote, if the president wants faster growth and less market turmoil, he can help by ending his tariff campaign. The main lesson from Trump versus Powell is that the central bank can't make up for the economic policy errors of politicians, end quote. That's an important note. It goes on, quote, he can help by ending his tariff campaign. There are unanswered legal questions surrounding whether Trump can fire Jerome Powell. Most people think he can't. The Atlantic points out, quote, if Trump bullies the Fed into a new policy decision by firing Powell and installing a crony in the central bank, investors around the world will dump even more American assets and flee to the relative safety of the euro, raising domestic borrowing costs as the central bank scrambles to shore up the financial system and tries to bring interest rates down. It would be chaos, with costs extending into the trillions of dollars and ramifications felt for decades, end quote. People close to Donald Trump tell the New York Times today that, quote, Mr. Trump's advisors have repeatedly told him that firing Mr. Powell was both legally and financially fraught and that the uncertainty could cause a significant downturn in financial markets. Mr. Trump, at least for the moment, has seemed persuaded, the people said. When asked about firing Jerome Powell today, White House economic advisor Kevin Hassett told reporters the Trump administration will continue to study the matter. Joining us now is Robert Reich, who served as Secretary of Labor under the President Bill Clinton. He's a professor of public policy at UC Berkeley. He's the co-founder of Inequality Media, which means he's sort of a important, august fellow. And I don't normally drag him into the pigsty with me, but you're coming into the pigsty with me right now, Bob, because the Wall Street Journal has just written something which I find very funny. It talks about the fact that on April 9th, as markets were melting down, the Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and the Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick took advantage of the fact that Peter Navarro, who seems to be the mastermind behind these tariffs, was at a meeting with Kevin Hassett. So he was away from the Oval Office for a few minutes, and they went in and caused him to write this Truth Social post and pause the tariffs. I mean, ridiculous if true, quite possibly true. But you got this guy, Peter Navarro, an economist they got off of Amazon, literally, who is dictating these policies. You got Howard Lutnick. No credit to him, because anything Donald Trump wants, he goes on TV and parrots, while the global economy is in danger of melting down.
Yeah, Ali, you're getting at something that is really, I think historians looking back on this period will highlight, and that is that the chaos is self-induced.
Yep.
The chaos is not chaos that really comes from something like, a pandemic.
Right.
The chaos is right there inside Donald Trump's White House. It's in this Trump regime. They can't get their act together. They are, I mean, the kinds of, I have been in White Houses. I have seen government up close. I've seen presidents up close. You don't have this kind of craziness, and it itself creates market uncertainty. If you are a CEO, if you are somebody who is contemplating making major investments in a new factory or whatever, you're not going to do it with this kind of uncertainty, this kind of chaos, this kind of, just everybody inside the White House looking for the moment that they can actually get Trump alone.
When you look at stable modern democracies, some of them, maybe the OECD type of countries, look at Canada, Japan, Switzerland, the EU, they have central banks. And basically all the central banks operate in a very similar way, in that there is some degree of independence between the person who runs the central bank and the governors of it and the prime minister or the president or somebody like that. We have enjoyed that in the United States, typically. The idea is that presidents, who almost always want interest rates to be lowered, which might or might not be the right idea at any given time, don't have that sort of sway over Fed chairs. This pressure campaign Donald Trump's got on Jay Powell to quit or lower interest rates, most people don't think about this on a daily basis. It's really bad.
It's really bad, and it creates even more uncertainty. I mean, if you are, again, if you're an investor, if you're somebody who is looking at making a major investment in the United States or whatever you're trying to do in the economy, if you don't know that you can trust the central bank, if you think that maybe there will be political power applied to the Fed and that interest rates will not, therefore, control inflation. What are you going to do? You don't have any trust that inflation is going to be controlled. So you're going to pull your money out of dollars. You're going to pull your money out of treasury bills. You're going to do all sorts of things that are antithetical to what we need in the United States. You're going to actually make the situation so far worse. The Fed has got to be an independent cop on the beat in terms of controlling inflation. If it doesn't do that, if it is politically controlled, then it has no credibility.
So this is an important point. Again, things that for good reason regular people don't have to think about on a regular basis. The Fed controls inflation by raising interest rates, and they try to do it in a manageable way. It's more art than science. And they get out of recessions by lowering interest rates, essentially. If you are in a recession, which we might get ourselves into, and we still have high interest, and we add those tariffs, which make higher inflation, and we have tariffs that make it higher, that's an economic, almost an impossibility to get out of that. You can get trapped in this thing Japan was trapped in it for a decade.
We were trapped in it in the 1970s. Remember, it was called stagflation.
Yeah.
When you get into this kind of stagflation trap, the Fed cannot raise interest rates because you might therefore push the economy into further recession, but it can't lower interest rates because you have the problem of inflation. And therefore, you don't have any monetary policy that works.
Bob, good to talk to you. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. Robert Reich is a professor, former labor secretary under President Clinton, a professor of public policy at the University of California, Berkeley, co-founder of Inequality Media.